DW and the Beastly Birthday is a little strange, but generally I enjoyed it. This is an Arthur special from 2017, directed by Greg Bailey, and it starts off on DW's 5th birthday, and she's not having the best birthday. And moreover, Arthur is going to make other plans rather than going home and spending DW's birthday with her, because he doesn't like the fact that he basically has to do whatever she wants on her birthday. She's just a little kid, she'll make him do stupid things. And then Mr. Ratburn's class with the Planetarium, and they end up getting transported 4 years into the future. But only the people in the planetarium remain the age that they were at the time. So Arthur goes home having been missing for 4 years, but missing in the sense that they knew they were in the planetarium for 4 years. And his family have aged, and DW is 9 now, and she's called Dora, and Kate is the age DW was. And I have to say I like the design of Kate. I thought it worked quite well. And Arthur has to learn that when DW is older, she's not going to be this annoying little kid sister. She's actually going to be this cool kid who he'd actually like to hang out with. And he has to learn that actually spending time with her as a little kid now is worth it because, well, she's his sister, but also it's not her fault that she's an annoying little kid and she's not always going to be like this, and you don't want to have to look back on those years and realise that you let your sister down and that you were not there for her on her birthday, which I think is probably a lesson that every child with a younger sibling can benefit from, particularly if there's an older or a bigger age gap, because what older sibling wants to spend time with their kid sibling and be made to do their kid things on their birthday? But at the same time, you'll probably regret missing out on those and not being there for your sibling just because it's silly to them or to you as the older sibling. It doesn't mean it's not important to your sibling at that time, and you never know what your sibling will be like when they're older. So I liked that aspect of it. I liked seeing the characters when they're older because it kind of reminds me of the very last episode of Arthur where we get a glimmer of what people will be like in the future. Kate was mentioned in that, but not animated, so it was quite nice to see her here. And I feel like it offers different perspectives as well. The only bit that I hated in this episode, or this special, that I just couldn't care for, were the scenes with DW in the present day on this island with these other characters. It seemed like they were trying too hard to give it another layer and make it a multi-dimensional narrative, but the message got across really well without all of that, and I just thought it was ridiculous. Maybe I'm too old to enjoy that part of it. Maybe younger children would find that silly and entertaining, which, if they do, that's absolutely fine. But ultimately, I thought DW and the Beastly Birthday was pretty good, entertaining. I liked the scene set in the future, even if it was a bit ridiculous. But there is one thing I didn't like about it, but it's a spoiler, so I'll discuss it in a moment. But generally speaking, I thought it was pretty good. And definitely worth watching if you're a fan of Arthur. The only thing I didn't like, and this is a big spoiler because it happens right at the end, so spoiler, I didn't like it when Arthur woke up at the planetarium and they realised that actually it had been a dream and it never happened. One of the fundamental key rules of writing a good narrative is never end it with "and then they woke up and it was all a dream." It is the sign of terrible writing, and even for a children's show, that's terrible. There's another episode of Arthur like this. I don't want to tell you which episode it is, actually, just in case you haven't seen it, but there's at least one other episode where it's this really compelling, fascinating narrative where I was like, how are they going to get out of this situation? And then the character wakes up and it was all a dream. And it's such a cop-out and it's such a sign of bad writing. But the rest of this, apart from the island scenes, which I didn't care for, were not actually really not badly written at all, so I will let it slide on this occasion. The episode that I'm talking about was actually terribly written as well, so the whole thing there was horrible. But this, not so much. Really enjoyed it. DW and the Beastly Birthday is definitely worth watching if you're a fan of Arthur.